Have you heard about the Nintendo Switch? It is a very popular video game machine made by Nintendo. It first came out in most countries on March 3, 2017. The Switch is special because it is different from many other game consoles. What makes the Nintendo Switch special? It is like two consoles in one. You can connect it to your television and play games at home, just like a normal home console. But you can also take it with you and play games anywhere you want. The main part of the Switch looks like a small tablet computer with a screen. You can hold it in your hands and play games on its screen when you are not at home. This makes it a home console and a portable console at the same time. People sometimes call this a hybrid console. When the Nintendo Switch came out, other game consoles were already popular. These included Sony's PlayStation 4 and Microsoft's Xbox One. Later, new consoles like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S also came out. The Nintendo Switch is sold alongside these other consoles, but it offers a different way to play. Nintendo has sold many Switch consoles. More than 150 million units have been sold all over the world. This huge number means it is the most successful home console Nintendo has ever made. It is also one of the best-selling video game consoles in history after the PlayStation 2 and the Nintendo DS. The controllers for the Switch are called Joy-Con. They are small and come in pairs. You can slide them onto the sides of the Switch screen to play in handheld mode. You can also slide them off and use them wirelessly. One person can use both Joy-Con controllers together, like a normal game controller, or two people can play together with each person using one Joy-Con. This makes it easy to share games with friends. The Nintendo Switch gives players a new way to enjoy video games. You can play big games on your TV and then continue playing the same game when you leave the house. You can play alone, or you can easily play with other people using the Joy-Con controllers. It changed how people think about playing video games, letting them play whenever and wherever they like. 2. A new Nintendo idea. Before the Nintendo Switch, things were difficult for Nintendo. Years earlier, the company was very successful. The Nintendo DS and the Wii sold many units, and Nintendo earned a lot of money, especially around 2009. But after that, sales started to go down. In 2012, Nintendo lost money for the first time as a video game company. This happened before the Wii U console came out. The Wii U console did not sell well. It was not as popular as the Wii. Because of the poor sales, Nintendo continued to lose money in the following years. Some big game companies also decided to stop making games for the Wii U. This made the situation worse. The Wii U was seen as a failure compared to Nintendo's older consoles. At the same time, mobile games on phones became very popular. Many people started playing games on their smartphones. This was another challenge for Nintendo. The company was worried about competing with mobile gaming. At first, Nintendo was not sure about making mobile games. The company president at the time, Satoru Iwata, felt that Nintendo might lose its special identity if it just made mobile games, but things needed to change. Mr. Iwata and other Nintendo leaders like Tatsumi Kimishima, Genio Takeda, and Shigeru Miyamoto made a new plan. This plan had three main parts. First, Nintendo would start making games for mobile phones. Second, they would create new game hardware. Third, they would use their famous characters and game worlds in more ways. Before he passed away in July 2015, Mr. Iwata made an important deal. Nintendo partnered with a Japanese mobile company called Duna. Together, they started making mobile games using Nintendo characters. This was the first step. After Mr. Iwata's death, Mr. Kimishima became the new president. The second part of the plan was the new hardware. Development for this new console started around 2012, soon after the Wii U was released. Nintendo called this secret project NX. They did not want to just make a simple replacement for the Wii U or the Nintendo 3DS. Nintendo wanted to create something different. Mr. Kimishima said they asked, "What kind of new experience can we create?" The idea was to offer a new way to play games. They wanted this new console to be more exciting than the Wii U. Nintendo hoped this new idea would appeal to many different players. They wanted a console that people could play at home on a TV, but also take with them anywhere. This new idea was the beginning of the Nintendo Switch. The pressure was high because the Wii U did not succeed. The next console needed to be a success for Nintendo. 3. Building the console. Nintendo started thinking about the Switch soon after the Wii U came out. They did not want to just make a new Wii U or a new 3DS. They asked, what new way can people play games? They wanted to create something fresh and different. The goal was to make a console that many different kinds of players would like. The main idea was a console for playing at home on a TV, but also one you could take outside. This meant players could enjoy games anywhere. It was designed for people who play short, easy games, and also for people who play long, difficult games. Nintendo also thought about players in different countries. For example, players in Japan often play games together when they are out. Players in Western countries often play alone at home. The Switch was made for both ways of playing. The detachable controllers were a very important part of this idea. They let people play in different styles. The name Switch was chosen because you can switch between playing at home and playing outside. It also means changing how people enjoy entertainment every day. Nintendo listened to players' ideas about older consoles. People liked the Wii Remote controller, but asked if it could be smaller. Some players wanted to attach it to their body. This gave Nintendo the idea for small controllers and a console that was easy to carry. Players also liked the Wii U gamepad screen, but they could not take the gamepad far away from the main console. This helped Nintendo decide to make a home console that players could really take anywhere they wanted. Making the Switch was not easy. The team had to choose the right parts. They needed to find a balance between power, how long the battery lasted, and the size of the console. Making it powerful could mean a short battery life or a big, heavy console. This was a hard problem to solve. They decided to use a computer chip that was already made, not a special new one. This choice made it easier for other companies to bring their games to the Switch. Nintendo did not try to make the most powerful console. Instead, they focused on making a balanced system that was fun to use in different ways. They tested about 5 different designs before choosing the final one. Yoshiaki Koizumi was the main producer for the Switch project. The team that designed the console was mostly made of younger Nintendo workers. Shigeru Miyamoto said he looked for designers who had many interests, not just playing games. These younger team members helped think of ideas. Older leaders like Miyamoto helped guide the project, especially thinking about the cost of new ideas. This teamwork helped create the final Nintendo Switch console. 4. Telling the world. Nintendo first talked about a new console in March 2015. They did not give its real name yet. They called it NX. Nintendo said it was a brand new concept. They shared this news when they announced a plan to work with a mobile company called Duna. A year later, in April 2016, Nintendo told investors more news. They said the NX would come out worldwide in March 2017, but they did not show the console yet. Even at the big E3 game show in June 2016, Nintendo kept the NX hidden. They only announced that a big game, The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild, would come out for the NX and the Wii U. Why did they wait? Nintendo worried that other companies might copy their ideas if they showed the NX too early. Because Nintendo kept the NX secret, people started guessing. In the summer of 2016, many rumors appeared. People talked about a console that used parts from a company called Nvidia. They heard it could be a home console and a portable console together, a hybrid. Rumors also said the controllers could come off the main part. People thought games might come on small cards like cartridges and also as downloads from the internet. Then on October 20, 2016, Nintendo showed the world. They officially announced the console's real name, Nintendo Switch. They showed a video trailer. The video demonstrated how the Switch worked. You could play it at home on a TV or take it outside like a handheld game. Nintendo said the trailer did not show everything. There were more features to learn about later. More information came slowly. In December 2016, the Switch appeared on a popular American television show, The Tonight Show, starring Jimmy Fallon. The host, Jimmy Fallon, played The Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild on the new console. This showed more about how the Switch worked. Finally, Nintendo held a big press event in Tokyo on January 13, 2017. People watched it live online around the world. At this event, Nintendo gave all the important details. They announced the exact launch date. They told everyone the price. They showed the technical information about the console. The next day, another online show called Nintendo Treehouse showed the games that players could buy on day one. They also showed other games coming soon to the Switch. The secret was finally out. Everyone knew about the Nintendo Switch. 5. The Switch arrives. The big day for the Nintendo Switch was March 3, 2017. On this day, the new console arrived in shops in many countries around the world. Places like Japan, the United States, the United Kingdom, and Australia got the Switch first. How much did it cost? The price was different in each country. In the United States, it was about $300. In the United Kingdom, it cost around £280. In Japan, the price was about 30,000 yen. Nintendo wanted the price to be not too high. They hoped more people could buy it this way. Because of this, the first Switch boxes did not come with a game included. When people bought the new console, they found several things inside the box. There was the main Switch console, which looks like a small tablet. There was the dock, which connects the Switch to a television. Buyers also got two small controllers called Joy-Con, one for the left hand and one for the right hand. The box included straps for the Joy-Con too. These straps help players hold the controllers safely. A Joy-Con grip was also inside. This accessory holds the two Joy-Con together like a normal game controller. Finally, the box had the cables needed to make everything work, an AC power adapter to give power and an HDMI cable to connect the dock to the TV. At the start, people could choose between two main types of Switch bundles. Both had the same things inside, but the color of the Joy-Con controllers was different. One bundle came with two gray Joy-Con. The other bundle came with one neon red Joy-Con and one neon blue Joy-Con. Not every country got the Switch on the first day. Nintendo released the console in more places later. For example, it arrived in South Korea and Taiwan in December 2017. It came to Argentina in August 2017. Turkey got the Switch in July 2018. Over the next few years, the console was released in other countries like the Philippines, Thailand, and Malaysia. Getting the Switch into some countries took more time. In China, the government has rules about video games. Nintendo worked with a Chinese company called Tencent. Together, they were able to release the Switch in China in December 2019. Brazil was another special case. Nintendo stopped selling consoles there in 2015 because of high costs. People in Brazil could still buy the Switch from other sellers, but it was not official. Nintendo officially started selling the Switch in Brazil again in September 2020. This made it easier for players in Brazil to buy the console and games. The Switch slowly became available to players almost everywhere. 6. More Switch models. The first Nintendo Switch was very popular. Because of this, Nintendo decided to make more types of the console. These new models gave players more choices. One new model was the Nintendo Switch Lite. It came out on September 20, 2019. This console is different because it is only for playing games on the go. You cannot connect the Switch Lite to a television. It is smaller and lighter than the first Switch. It is made for people who mostly play games outside their home. Its controllers are built in and do not come off. The Switch Lite first came in 3 colors: yellow, gray, and turquoise. Later, Nintendo added more colors like coral and blue. There were also special Switch Lite consoles made for certain games. For example, there was a special one for Pokémon Sword and Pokémon Shield. It had pictures of the Pokémon Zacian and Zamazenta. Another special Pokémon version was made for the games Pokémon Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, showing Dialga and Palkia. In 2024, a special gold Switch Lite was released for the game The Legend of Zelda: Echoes of Wisdom. It included a 12-month Nintendo Switch Online membership. Nintendo also made a better version of the original Switch. This is called the Nintendo Switch OLED model. It came out on October 8, 2021. This model can still connect to a TV or be played on the go, like the first Switch. The main difference is the screen. It has an OLED screen, which shows brighter colors and deeper blacks. The screen is also a little bigger than the first Switch screen. Its dock is also slightly different and includes a port for a wired internet connection. Besides the Switch Lite special versions, Nintendo also released special designs for the original Switch and the OLED model. These often came in bundles with popular games. There were special consoles for games like Splatoon 2, Animal Crossing, New Horizons, and Fortnite. These special editions usually have different colors or designs on the console and the dock. The Nintendo Switch has been available for many years. In February 2021, the president of Nintendo said the Switch was in the middle of its life. This means Nintendo planned for it to be sold for a long time. In July 2024, the Switch became the Nintendo console that was sold for the longest time without a new replacement system coming out. It lasted longer than the 7 years of the Nintendo Entertainment System. The Switch continues to be a very popular console for many players around the world. 7. The main console. The main part of the Nintendo Switch system is the console unit. It looks like a small tablet computer. This part holds the screen and the computer parts inside. It is black and rectangular. The console is not too heavy, weighing about 297 grams. This makes it easy to hold and carry around. The console has a screen that is 6.2 inches wide, measured from corner to corner. This screen is also a touch screen. This means you can use your fingers to touch the screen to control some games or menus. The screen shows pictures at 720p resolution. This makes games look clear when you play on the go. The screen can also change its brightness by itself because it knows how light the room is. Around the edges of the console, there are several important parts. On the top, you find the power button and the volume buttons. There is also a small slot where you put the Nintendo Switch game cards. On the bottom, there are speakers to make sound and a USB-C port. The USB-C port is used for charging the console's battery. On the top edge, there is also a standard 3.5mm hole to plug in your headphones. On the back of the console, there is a small stand called a kickstand. You can open this kickstand to make the console stand up by itself on a table or flat surface. Under the kickstand, there is a slot for a microSD card. You can put a memory card here to get more space for saving digital games, pictures, and videos. There are three main ways to use the Nintendo Switch console. First is handheld mode. In this mode, you attach the Joy-Con controllers to the rails on the sides of the console. Then you hold the whole thing in your hands and play anywhere. Second is tabletop mode. You use the kickstand to place the console on a table. Then you remove the Joy-Con controllers to play, maybe sharing with a friend. Third is TV mode. You place the console into the Nintendo Switch dock, which connects to your television. This lets you play your games on a big screen. Changing between these modes is simple and fast. If you are playing in handheld mode, you can slide the console into the dock and the game will appear on your TV screen. If you take the console out of the dock, the game moves back to the console's screen for handheld or tabletop mode. The Switch is made to be a single-screen experience. This means the game shows on the console screen or the TV screen, but not on both at the same time. 8. Dock and controllers. The Nintendo Switch comes with a special stand called the dock. This dock has an important job. When you want to play on a big screen, you place the Switch console into the dock. The dock then connects your Switch console to your television using a cable. The game picture automatically shows on the TV screen. This lets you play your games like a traditional home console. The dock also charges the battery inside the Switch console while it sits there. So when you finish playing on the TV and take the console out later, its battery is full and ready for portable play. The dock has places to plug things in on the back and side. These connection points are called ports. There is an HDMI port. This is for the HDMI cable that goes to your TV to show the picture and sound clearly. There are also USB ports. You can use these to connect accessories or charge some controllers, like the separate Pro controller if you have one. The dock that comes with the newer OLED model Switch is a little different on the back. It has a special port for a network cable. This lets you connect to the internet with a wire, which can be faster and more stable than wireless internet. Now let's talk about the main controllers. They are called Joy-Con. You usually get two Joy-Con controllers with the Switch, one for the left hand and one for the right hand. They are small and connect wirelessly to the console. You can use them in several different ways. You can slide them onto the sides of the Switch console itself. This makes the console feel like one solid handheld game machine. Another way is to slide the Joy-Con onto a Joy-Con grip accessory. This plastic grip usually comes in the box too. When the Joy-Con controllers are attached to the grip, it feels more like a standard game controller that you hold with two hands. You can also use the Joy-Con without attaching them to the console or the grip. You can hold one Joy-Con controller in each hand for games that use motion. Small straps can be attached to the Joy-Con to make them safer to hold and add bigger shoulder buttons. Or, for some simple games, two people can play together. Each person uses one small Joy-Con controller turned sideways. The Joy-Con come in different colors like gray or bright neon red and blue. Each Joy-Con has buttons and a control stick for playing games. They can also sense movement. This means you can control some games just by moving the Joy-Con in the air. They also have a special vibration feature, sometimes called HD rumble. This tactile feedback lets you feel different things happening in the game, like small clicks or big shakes. These features help make playing games feel more interesting and fun.